Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Update. So I want to alert the public, if you do not know, that there are some divisions that are within the Glen Road area that would be closed today because of a power interruption by TNTech. So that would include the Division of Settlements, the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, as well as the Division of Community Development. Those offices are closed today because there is no power on that side. So along that Plymouth Road, there's interruptions happening there. So those offices are closed today. Just in case you intended to do business on that side, or you know anyone who is going to possibly do business on that side today, those offices are closed, but the regular schedule will resume from tomorrow. And so that's today, Tuesday, the 20th of May. Those offices on that Glen Road, Plymouth Road area are closed because of power interruptions by TNTech. They are commencing some maintenance work on that side of the island, so there are technical interruptions happening. But guys, this morning we want to continue our conversations, and we are jumping right into it with my guest this morning. I have the privilege of sitting and chatting with Mr. Kevin Smith, who is the Vice President of the Agriculture Society, and we are chatting about World Bee Day. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Tobago.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for having me here as a representative of Tobago Agricultural Society.
Right now, you guys have been doing a lot of work, and specifically as it pertains to raising awareness among the youth and raising awareness among children to let them know that this is a viable and a lucrative industry, and the role of bees in the entire ecosystem. So talk about some of the work that you guys have been doing. I know that we do have some photos on deck of some of the recent work. You have had some visits from the library. So tell us a bit about some of the projects that you have recently been embarking on.
Right. So we have been around for 30 odd years in the Tobago space, and as a small community within the agricultural sector, we do have a very impactful force. Now, with regards to training, we have recently, working with the Shenell Comprehensive, along with the Mason Comprehensive, We are now working with them to sponsor them the startup for their apiary, as well as the equipment and training to ensure that the education is be passed on to the younger generation, which is very crucial for any industry. So the continuance is surely there.
Excellent. And how excited are the kids as it pertains to bees and beekeeping and apiary, and as they're being exposed? How excited are they?
Well, I must say that from all the visits that we have had recently, it was very electrifying. Like they're all asking questions. They want to make sure how they can be a part of it, how they can help the ecosystem, how they could even mind bees or take care of bees and the process in doing so, if it is something that they could do as a profession after their school tenure.
Okay, well, we really love that. Now, for the persons who do not know and they see bees as a source of honey or a pest, can you tell us about the role of bees in the entire ecosystem?
Well, as common knowledge will know that without bees, you don't get to eat. Most of our food is pollinated by bees, whether it be the local stingless bees, Melipona, or the European bees, Apis mellifera. All right. Other than that, yes, they have a sting hazard. That is their way of defending their nests. I mean, you have to have some way to defend your own, right? And with that caution being in mind, you now have to be trained or exposed properly to the art of beekeeping, so therefore you wouldn't pose a danger to yourself or anyone else coming in your range. So that is why there are laws governing this practice.
Excellent. And now this is a lucrative industry. Tell us about some of the economic benefits of investing in beekeeping.
All right. So for now, it is most people know beekeeping to be honey. Right. That's the basic thing. But as we go forward and explain to people, honey is considered some of the cheaper aspect of beekeeping. Yes, we have things like the other products of the hive, like propolis, well-known beeswax. Everybody knows beeswax is
Right.
something that's used in everything else. I mentioned propolis. Propolis is a sap the bees bring, tree resin that they bring into the hive and they use as bee glue. That has antimicrobial, antiviral, and antibiotical properties that people use and make tinctures for other treatments or treat ailments and stuff like that. You have pollen. That is a new thing that we're trying to encourage people to look to seek out. That is very rich in protein and other vitamins, amino acids, and stuff like that. So these products actually carry a greater price. And something that we are looking into is feasibility study into queen rearing. Yes, so people do purchase queen bees itself to
Yes.
encourage them, to encourage their business. You could also buy nucleus colonies, which is a smaller version or a starter colony for those who are in the industry or wish to start within the industry. From preliminary checks and experiments, we have realized that those things carry a greater higher cost. Where that honey is seasonal, you could actually do queen rearing and collect some of these other properties throughout the entire year. Because of where we are in the tropics, we are not subjected to the winter,
Right.
so we have that advantage.
And how useful are these properties for the creation of, let's say, you said there are medical benefits. So as it pertains to creating medicine for different illnesses, and what is the type of technology that is needed to, expand the research and development of that area?
All right, so I'll talk about the research and development. Currently, we're partnered with UTT in some of these studies. Up to last week, they were here collecting samples of honey throughout Tobago from the east, west, north, and south to get the different properties and qualities within the different microclimates within Tobago. Because truth be told, in each area, although Tobago is a small island, within each area you will have different tastes, different values based on the flora and fauna available at that given time. The medicinal value that you mentioned with regards to especially talk about the propolis, it is something that is called a tincture, which is basically soaking it in alcohol, a specific terrain.
Okay.
And what it does over a period of time is extract most of the properties out and it is stored inside there. Countries like Brazil, Argentina would have used that for any throat infections in particular. We have countries like Costa Rica as well picking up the challenge and also going deeper into it as well.
Excellent. Even as it pertains to the type of investment that is needed to make Tobago agriculture hub within the region where students can come from all over the world to study here in Tobago, what type of investment is needed to expand the current industry?
Well, that has a lot to do with collaborative efforts between the THA and ourselves and other private stakeholders to ensure this dream becomes a reality, because not one person could push this dream. Fair enough. And with that being said, so far we are working the ground to really get that to a reality with, as I said, collaboration with the THA and with some of these secondary schools, as what I mentioned before. So that will be the step going forward. In addition to international groups that would have been partnering with on the low to ensure that we have favorable results down the road before we come public with that one. But so far, with the partnership with UTT, we have seen that there is great potential for further expansion within the industry, especially in Tobago.
Right. And what about reaching out to those international institutions to send those invitations for them to send cohorts to Tobago?
Well, as I said, we are now in communication with one body from Canada, and we hope to expand on that relationship to encourage such behavior, or should say such actions to continue.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to say to Tobagoans? Is there any activities that you guys have coming up as you celebrate World Bee Day that the public can support?
Well, today we're encouraging persons to visit the botanical gardens where the Tobago Reforestation and Watershed, where they are having under the theme Be Inspired by Nature to Nourish Us All. They're having, you could bring your flowers or anything there. We could establish a pollination zone. So the activity today will be at the Botanical Gardens.
Excellent. So that's at the Botanics today. We are celebrating World Bee Day.
Yes.
Can you tell us what time it's starting?
I believe you could come from from 10, 11 o'clock today, and you can start a drop-off.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to that. We look forward to, as you said, persons can bring their plants if they want them to be pollinated.
Part of the pollination zone that they established in Tobago.
Excellent. Well, again, we want to thank you so much, and we want to extend greetings to the entire Tobago Apiculture Society. And thank you guys for the work that you have been doing and continue to do to contribute to Tobago's entire ecosystem,
Yes.
you know, and encouraging the youth and to get involved and to understand the role of bees. You know, usually we're either killing them or trying to steal their nest.
We know that there's a stigma behind it, so we're trying to work our best to get around that. We
Right.
acknowledge the fact that yes, they do sting, but we are trying to let people know there are ways to mitigate against that. It's just proper education.
What about the persons who have property where they might be nests around their home? Can they call you guys to get those nests removed? Because you never know, they might just have some pretty rare bees.
Well, yes. So we'd have had calls, or not say individual beekeepers would have had calls where that they would have heard some humming and thinking they're bees that they can sting. Now, like I said, there are different types of bees in Tobago.
Right.
So we advise people to communicate still with the beekeeper within your area, and they will move to either remove them or advise you that it's not a threat.
Okay, excellent. Well, again, thank you so much. And I want to thank our audience this morning for being a part of this morning's enriching discussions. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Guys, again, I am Shenell Felix, and have a great day.